Oh, let me get in my let me sit in my chair. Let's have some fun. I'm excited. This is like probably my favorite time of the month. Besides when I have my period. That's definitely my favorite time of the month. But besides that, my favorite type of the month is the manga logs. These are definitely my favorite time of the month. Just to talk about manga. It's literally just talking about manga. The manga logs, yeah, I'm opening them and I'm showing you the volumes or whatever. But I don't know what's in the volumes. I haven't read them. If it's a new series, I like don't know how to talk about it. It's like I just don't know how to talk about it. But all these are volumes that I've read, and it's volumes that I've at least liked. So let's just get into it. And in last place, which is kind of sad. I was hoping to like this series more, but it just did not suck me in and didn't grab me. I just didn't care for it. Maybe it's because it's very slow. Like right now, it's like super slow. Like there'll just be like 8 pages of just people talking. And that volume is sadly Vinland Saga Volume 2. There's just not like much. It just feels like there's not much going on. There's some really interesting things happening in this series and some really good stuff. Like there's the scene at the end where they're just killing the entire village, and I really love the perspective shift. That was a great scene. Well drawn, well written, well like paneled. It's like very, very good. I'm trying to I've been watching a lot more movies. I've been learning about more films. So I'm saying like shit like cinematography and fucking different stuff like I'm saying film terms in my head, but then I'm reading a manga, so I can't use film terms. I'm just gonna say well acted. There's no acting. It's just drawing, but really well drawn. It's really good. This tone shift, especially when we're like following these characters for like the entirety of the time, and then we realize they're Vikings and they murder people. Like we just realized that. It's really, really good. There's also like another line in here, like I forgot, but it was like they were like asking like this Christian guy, and he was like, oh, who's stronger, or like which one do you think exists, the Jesus or the Nordic gods? Who do you think stronger? And he's like, I don't know, whichever one gives me beer. And I'm like, damn, that's a good ass line. Like people, like it's like a cool like deception of like people will believe whatever helps them. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. But besides that, it's just boring. It's just boring. Like I'm sorry. The fight scenes are really good. The art is amazing. But like other than that, I really couldn't get into it. Maybe because this happened with Planet Test as well. Planet Test, it was a very slow start, but after like that slow start, it got really good, like amazing levels, like 9 out of 10 levels. So maybe that's just with Vinland Saga. I just got to get further into it. All right, next after that is 3 volumes that I actually loved. This is most definitely one of the best months I've ever had for manga. Probably the best month. And Vinland Saga being last, like I didn't dislike Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga, that volume was still like a 6.9 to like 7 out of 10. Like it was still a great volume. And these 3 volumes are not much different. We have Kaiju number 8, volume 6, 7, and 6, 7, and 8. I thought this was volume 9 for a second. Oh wait, yeah. Forgot to mention, I say these volumes not on when I read them, but like ranking them kind of like this. Like Vinland Saga's last, whatever is first will be first. Just because something's last doesn't mean it's bad. Like I said, Vinland Saga, amazing volume. At least volume 2. Volume 1, I was like, it was okay. It was fine. This series got a shit ton better when a lot of people are saying it's getting worse. I honestly think it's getting better. First off, fight scenes, amazing. The art's incredible. The fight scenes are incredible. Second off, the main character is like so unique. I've never seen something like this before. And I'm a huge believer that like, okay, let me say this. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was talking to me about Kaiju number 8. I was like, oh, what do you like about the series? I've read a little bit of it, but what do you like? He's like, well, first off, the main character is an adult, and he's so much different than the high schoolers. And to me, that doesn't tell me anything. Like, that doesn't mean anything in my book. Like, okay, cool, your main character's age is different, or your main character's looks are different. But if you act the same way as every other protagonist, or if you, like, bring nothing to the table as an adult, or as either a young child, or whatever, then what's the fucking difference at that point, you know? And that's what I felt at the beginning of the series. This beginning of, like, not of his volume, but of the manga, he kind of just acted like everyone else. He made jokes, he was funny, like, he didn't, like, do anything, he wasn't mature at all, he didn't, like, give out wisdom, he wasn't smart, he wasn't experienced, he was actually the lowest of the lowest of the low, like, on his level, to all, like, the teenagers and stuff. And I was like, what the, why make him an adult, unless, except for, like, the first chapter where they talk about his motivation, which was good, but, like, other than that, like, what's the point of making him an adult? And these 3 volumes kind of showed me why, and it did it in such an amazing way that I was super surprised by. Basically, what they have him, the main character, do is kind of interesting, where he'll talk to these characters that are younger than him, but stronger than him, but he'll give them advice. He'll give them life advice or power advice, and he'll actually just help them and support them, and he's very wise. And it's super interesting where this weak character can give these stronger characters more advice and more, more like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, we'll just give him wisdom that he can impart because he's older. And how this weaker character can still, like, just because he is weaker than everyone else doesn't mean he can't help people. And it's super cool where, like, we'll get, like, side characters' perspectives. Like, we got, like, a chapter for different side character and this side character. And they're actually, like, listening to Kafka, I think that's his name. Like, and they're actually listening to his advice. And it's really, really interesting where this main character is kind of a mentor character to what would usually be our main characters. And it's really cool. And it's, like I said, it's super interesting. And that's what I really liked about this. Art's good. Everything's really good. Kind of just a basic plot, though. Plot is super basic. You know, just basic, like, shonen type stuff. This guy dying, I did not expect. And then him, like, becoming the kaiju, super unexpected, super, super cool. Great twist. That's really it. That's all it is. Honestly, I just don't like the premise very much. This guy, like, I thought he would, like, work his way up and become stronger to, see his past friend again. But no, he just, like, becomes a kaiju. So, that's great. Next, we have Food Wars, volumes 31, 32, and 33. Definitely great volumes. I love Food Wars. Definitely not one of my favorite series of all time. Definitely on the lower end of some, like, of all the series I've read, but I've only read one bad series ever. I know it's not Uzumaki, but I've read, but Food Wars is kind of a lower end on my spectrum, but it's definitely going to get higher. I'm loving it. It's so fun. It's so vibrant. It's just like hilarious. It's hilariously dumb fun. It doesn't make any sense, and yet it makes so much sense at the exact same time. Like, you can't take this series too seriously. I was talking to another friend, and when I was talking to another friend, I was watching a YouTube video, and this guy was saying, like, oh, I hate Food Wars. I don't really like Food Wars very much. So much too cocky as a protagonist, and no one gets character development. No. Like, bro, like, that's not the point of Food Wars. I know that's a dumb argument, and I hate having that argument and be like, oh, if it's not the point. I'm not trying to go, like, every series should strive to be the best series they can be, obviously, but I'm not going to sit here and say Food Wars has the best character development in shonen. It's got great character development. It's not the best. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best art. It's got good art, not the best. I'm not going to sit here and say it has the best plot, characters, art, storyline, writing, paneling, whatever you want to talk about. Because it doesn't. But it just fills me with so much hype and enjoyment, and it puts a big, happy smile on my face, and that's all I could ask for. Also, before I end this segment, this volume in 31, I think it is, after they all become, like, the head seats of the council, which is fucking hype as hell. When Megumi manhandles this dude who we thought was gonna be insanely strong. Oh my god, bro. That was one of my favorite moments in the entire series. When we see this Megumi who used to be super timid and all over the place and super nervous all the time, be calm and beat someone's ass and not be an underdog. Holy shit, bro. I started shaking while reading that. That was one of the best moments in this series. Top 30 moments in manga. I know 30 is crazy, but it was such an amazing moment. And it's not a crazy moment either, but it just shows how much she's grown, and she's definitely my favorite character. I'm getting a shitload of notifications. Next, we have a bit of a surprising one. I honestly thought this was going to be a lot lower on the list, probably the lowest, but it surprised me. It got a lot better with reading the volumes, and that's Jujutsu Kaisen volumes 4, 5, and 6. Where do I start? How do I talk about this? I don't really got much to say. I just really like this volume, surprisingly. Maybe it's because we're getting into a bigger arc where there's actually an objective that I'm liking it more. But yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot more. A lot of the fights are super sick and super easy to read. They're super fluid and super cool. It's great. The relationship between Itadori and Todo is beautiful. It's so funny and dumb. I love how just from Itadori saying that he likes tall women with big butts literally creates a memory. It just creates a memory. That's so funny. It's great. I love really most of the characters. I have a couple problems with it though. One, this manga uses dialogue way too much. They'll show a character and then they'll just have one page where they explain this character's abilities, and it's the entire page of just dialogue. And then we don't see the character ever again. There's a time when they show the principal or whatever, and he starts playing the guitar and amps start flying at him. He's oh, he's using his cursed energy to create the amps through the sound waves, and he's becoming the amp actually. I don't care. I don't need to know how. It feels like it's treating me stupid. And while yes, I am very stupid, it might be true. You don't need, I can see a guy playing a guitar and sound waves coming out of the guitar and hitting someone, and I can be oh, that's a cool power. I don't need someone to tell me how that works in the Jujutsu Kaisen fucking universe. I know people are gonna complain. I know a lot of people complain when that doesn't happen. I just don't need to know it. And it's my list. So I get to decide where it is in the ranking, and it's here. Also, a lot of these characters feel super one note. They'll have a backstory, or they'll have a certain part of their character that I just don't care about very much. It's very tiny little conflicts that don't matter in the briefest story, where the manga author is trying to create a battle of ideologies in a chapter. There's this one chapter where the fucking panda dude is fighting against this robot guy who's not actually a robot, but a guy who's super fucking damaged or whatever, and he's controlling a robot, and I just don't care. I just don't. I'm probably never gonna see this guy again, and it tries to create this battle of ideologies of create a human is controlling a robot, and a robot's controlling you. It's trying to create this different battle of ideologies. I don't give a shit. There's also another battle where I think her name's Nobara. Nobara fights this girl, and she talks about how women suffer in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe or something, or they suffer as sorcerers, and then all she does is be actually they don't, and then I don't care. Just have a cool fight. I know this is crazy coming from me, but you don't need to think about this crazy amount of fucking themes and metaverse for every single fight when a fight lasts half a chapter. You don't need to. Especially when there's so much dialogue. You just don't. You can just let the fight go on and have the art speak for itself. That's totally fine. Yeah, I didn't really talk about the positives, did I? Really kind of just wrangled on the negatives. I have a lot of negatives for the series, but I also have a lot of positives. It's very good and it's very enjoyable. The scene, anytime Gojo takes off his mask and shows his eyes, is the coolest scene in manga like ever. It's so cool. It's like, it's portrayed as like a godly sight, like a once in a lifetime experience to see him take off his blindfold. Next, we have a lot of 3 volumes of manga. You might have just got a sneak peek to the next one. But we have a lot of like 3-volume manga capacities. Next, we have Hunter x Hunter volume 7, 8, and 9. This is mostly Heaven's Arena stuff. Oh, excuse me. This is mostly Heaven's Arena stuff plus York New. I think we're in York New now. Yeah, York New. Heaven's Arena, they go back to get the Greed Island thing or whatever. York New. Just amazing. Just like so good. Some like my 2 favorite, the fight scenes in manga are amazing. Some of my favorite fight scenes in manga. I don't read a lot of fighting manga. I know that what I'm reading now is hard to believe. I don't read a lot of fighting manga. Like, or at least I don't like a lot of fighting manga. But this is a lot different. The fight scenes are like the easiest thing I've had to read, like ever. It reminds me of older Dandadan. Not older Dandadan. It reminds me of Dandadan. The fight between Gon and Hisoka is like so fluid and smooth. I can see every punch and kick and block, and there's no words. There's not a single word. A lot of times in manga, because it's hard to show fight scenes, they'll have a character explain like, oh, he just blocked his left kick, and now he's gonna throw a right punch, and he just blocked that punch, and he blocked this punch. Just be good at drawing. Like, my bad, but just, like, you don't have to do that. If I don't know what's going on in the fight scene, that's, like, fine. You don't have to say what they're actually doing. But this manga, like, doesn't need to do that at all. Except for when it's, like, explaining Nen, obviously, because Nen is, like, the most convoluted shit possible. It lets the fight scene speak for itself, which, like, I'm so thankful for. Right, Jujutsu Kaisen? I know you're listening. Hopefully it gets better. I hope it does. Because it's just dialogue. I'm probably going to quit Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm probably going to quit manga, actually. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter does that amazingly. It's also amazing at badass lines. The art is, like sometimes so awful, but sometimes so beautiful. Like, I know there'd be like, oh, the beauty of Hunter x Hunter's art is that you can have a panel that looks awful, but then a panel that looks amazing. Like, if you can make art good, make art good. All right, that's my view on art. If you can make art look good, make art look good. And sometimes the author doesn't like to make the art look good. I know he has back problems, but when he was making this manga right now, he didn't. So I'm still viable for my excuse. Also, what chapter are we on? I'm curious. I know this is very abrupt. I'm going to volume 9, and we are on chapter 83. I don't know what that means. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is amazing. I don't really know how to explain why, though. Fight scenes, amazing. Characters are amazing. Interesting that Gon is getting a lot more darker moments. It's weird. Like, Gon, in the beginning of the series, was like this lighthearted kid. He'd never say a bad word in his life. Like, you know, like, never told a lie. Like, that type of kid, you know? And then, like, slowly and surely, we're getting, like, a little bit of darker moments. I'm like, that's super interesting. I love that, like, the main character is getting, like, some development, you know? That's super sick. Next, we have Naruto. Naruto. Yeah, this is a weird series. I couldn't put it any lower because of the context in it, but I also couldn't put it any higher because of the context in it. Why? I post this on my Twitter as well, on my X. Whatever the fuck. The first chapter in Naruto is probably, one of the best, if not the best first chapters I've ever read. It establishes, like, all the characters, or at least, like, the main character of Naruto. It establishes the themes of the story. It establishes like his character motivation. It tells a heartfelt story in chapter 1 that actually almost made me cry. The fight scene in this chapter was amazing. The art was great. Like, there was so much good shit in that chapter. I'm so surprised. Like, that was like a blast beyond the senses of how good that was, of just how well written and good, like paced and like everything. Like, I was glued to my seat while reading that, and I was so excited to read this because I thought I was gonna hit another One Piece, you know, like another amazing, super long running manga. And then I got to chapter 2, and it got a lot worse. I read these 2 volumes. I guess it's taking a lot more of a comedy aspect, maybe, like a comedy route. It's funny. The comedy is pretty funny. It's not like crazy funny. I don't think I laughed. I know that's crazy, so I don't laugh, but it's a book. Like, am I gonna really laugh? I know I didn't really laugh very much while reading this, but like, it was funny. It was humorous. It was good. There was a lot of like Jujutsu Kaisen explaining, where they'll fucking have a page of how to explain chakra, and I'm like, I get it, it's chi, it comes from the inner soul, like, whatever, you know, you don't need to, like, why do all these manga have super crazy power systems? Do like what One Piece does, alright? One Piece, one of my favorite power systems in the entire manga verse, anime verse, fiction verse. Why? Because it's so complicated, but can be explained in like a sentence. Some guy can be like, I have the door fruit. I can create doors. And that's it. And then people and the manga author and the manga fans and the readers and everybody can theorize how good that ability would be. And there could be different special moves on how that good ability would be. So it's taking a tiny little premise and it stretches it out on extreme creative fronts. It's amazing that way. Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto kind of do the opposite. It makes this huge, giant idea of a power for every character, and it barely like makes it creative at all. Like, unless there's like fun gimmicks, you know. Like, there's this one guy who has cursed speech who, you know, when he talks, he can. I'm sorry, I'm hating on Jujutsu Kaisen a lot, but just let me be. When he talks, he says something to another person, they immediately do it. So he talks in like fish terms, which that's a cool idea. But whatever he does, he like says like he could happen to himself. I'm like, how about you do something cooler? And for his special move, he goes like pow, and a bullet gets summoned and actually shoots. Like, wouldn't that be cool as shit if he just goes bang and someone just like their head just. That would be sick. That would be so cool. Or have like another character. Like, I'm not going to explain every character and how I would do it because there's literally no point. But Naruto does it a lot. But I haven't gotten that far enough into Naruto for it to be crazy. And honestly, it's not that bad. My only issue is when we have pages like this. Alright? When there's pages like this in the manga, like, how am I supposed to read all that? And I know what you're going to say. Oh, you liked Hunter x Hunter, didn't you? Yeah, I liked Hunter x Hunter. But it knows when to take breaks, at least as far as I am in the manga. Like, it knows when to, like, take breaks, you know? This manga does not know how to take breaks. And I get it. It's old. But I don't give a shit. I judge. All right, next. I'm going to try to go quicker with these because I'm not trying to have, like, a 50-minute video here. We have Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. I had to look at the title again. Just like a cozy manga. There's not really much to say here. It's like the only slice of life manga I can actually read and enjoy. It's so chill. It's so fun. It's so wholesome. It's so cute and cringy, and like I'm literally in love with this main girl. Okay, I'm in love. I'm in love. Next, we have Death Note, Volume 3. I don't really remember this volume much. It was probably the first, I think it was the first volume I read this month. And it's good. It's like, I mean, it's above everything else, so it has to be good. Just like the suspense I got from this manga was like so amazing. Like, it like the genius in this manga of like a battle of wits and mind games between different characters is so interesting. And I think we're going through like a little bit of a dry manga area where Light isn't Kira anymore. And I think he will become Kira again, but it's just kind of a little bit boring. That's why this manga volume isn't higher. It's getting a bit boring just seeing Light helping L find Kira, even though he's kind of Kira, but not really Kira anymore. And like, if they explain how he was able to plan this since the beginning, well, I will literally, like, I don't know what I'll do. I'll do something though. Like, this, like, the payoff must be amazing. It has to be. Next, we have Zom 100, Volume 13. This is actually the goofiest manga I've ever read. It's so fucking dumb. Literally, in this chapter, in this volume, there's literally a character who's so good at playing video games that they just pick up a gun and are like an army general. Like, like she's just like, all right, you, Kensho, take the left wing, and Akira, make sure to hold them back. And you, like, what the fuck? You were just playing Call of Duty. Like, bro. But, God, I love this manga so much. I love Haruasa's work. I've read Hiding Closer. I've read Alice in Borderland. And I've obviously read Zom 100. Like, it's so good. So damn good. Weird that the Shizuka stuff got solved in, like, the first chapter. She got bit, and then they healed her. Which I guess entails that, like, a vaccine is coming. But I wish it would have been, like, more, you know, like, crazy. Get some bucket list stuff happening in this volume. Not much. Like, we get, I think, a new character joining our crew. I think the girl is going to be a new character. Because just for the fact they gave her so much development. Like, I believe she'll be, like, a main character. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of this manga. I saw, like, on Twitter that eventually they go to space. Like, what the going to space? Like, how? Literally how? You're in a zombie apocalypse. How did you get a rocket? Like, what the? Alright. Oh, maybe, hold on, prediction time. Maybe they actually fix the zombie apocalypse, become heroes, and then they're like, the president's like, oh, I'll achieve your dreams of whatever. You know, I'll let, you guys are national heroes. I'll let you guys are worldly heroes. I'll let you guys do whatever you want. You know, you're basically like the richest man in the universe. And like, awesome! So then they go to space, and that's how they finish their bucket list. Okay, next we have 3 more series left. I know, it's sad the video's ending. Blue Lock, Volume 11. Yeah, I think I said this in the haul video. This is one of the, like, this was gonna be my top 3, top 5, no matter what. It might, like, be the top of the list. It was not the top of the list just because not much happened in this volume. We got explained to the concept of luck, which is surprisingly genius and so freaking smart. Like how, like, luck does exist, but you have to put yourself in a place that if luck did, like, come, like, if luck, like, happened to come, you would be in the perfect opportunity to use it to its full potential. Like, that's so genius and so smart. I've never thought of it. And that's such an interesting idea. And, like, that's so cool. Like, this manga has such cool and interesting, like, philosophies for every character. Not every character. Most of the characters have, like, somewhat of the same philosophy. But it has such cool ideas about, like, being your best self and winning and the idea of losing and being a genius and being a non-genius and talent and hard work and how everybody has a level of talent that they can achieve. Like, that's so good. That's so good. Also, art, incredible. This manga knows how to make hype moments. I'm going to try to find the panel. Here it is. This panel made me jump out of my seat, literally. It's a full page spread. Look at this. Bro says, Bro, he says, bro does the shadow clone jutsu. Bro goes, you good? At this distance, you got nothing but weak spots. He goes, there's the first step. Bro, this man turned into a cyborg mid-soccer match. Like, bro, what? And this character, where is he? He's literally my favorite character. This guy right here. What is his name? Shido? He's my favorite character. What makes me attracted to characters? This is a crazy idea. I don't think anyone has thought about it before. But when I read this like manga, I give characters voices, obviously. And sometimes the character will be like super important and they'll be saying this super sad scene. And the voice I gave him was really annoying, so it's not that sad. Like, it's kind of fucked up. This guy's voice I gave him in my brain is like the sexiest, best voice possible that my brain just automatically put there. And I love his like ideal of like, I just need explosive flashes of whatever to be amazing. Also, Kunagami getting out is crazy. Also, Igaguri with the militia foul? What? Like, bro, this manga is so good. Every character is improving. Every character is getting better. The manga is fluid. Its art is beautiful. It's so good. Like, praise Jesus, bro. It's so good. All right. Next, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 11 volumes of manga. For an entire series. This is, I made a video on this. This is real. Volumes 4 through 15. Yeah. This manga has officially made it into my top 10 favorite manga. 2 manga actually in this list, and the next one you'll see after this, have made it into my top 10 favorite manga. I don't really know how to talk about this very much, like talk about its strengths and stuff, because I don't know if it has any strengths, if that makes sense. Like, every single bit of this manga is like perfection, like true perfection. The art, okay, let me start off. The art is rigid and beautiful and fluid. It's amazing. All the character designs look distinct and look incredible while also being very realistic. And it's amazing. Even though you can't really have like height differences in this manga because they're all in wheelchairs, it still looks incredible. You can tell when characters are sad, happy, mad. Like, it's just beautiful. The emotional moments hit you like a buzzsaw. Volume 3, probably one of the saddest moments I've ever read in manga. Just from like, and also like, a lot of these moments are incredibly sad and incredibly good. Also, I'll just keep saying also, it has a lot of different ideologies that it plays with when it comes to sports, that it's just so interesting. There's like 3 main sports they talk about. Really, it's like 2, but 3. It's track, it's wheelchair basketball, which is like the main one, and it's regular basketball. Yes, there's a difference. I've learned it from this manga. But all 3 of those sports are handled with such delicate care. All the backstories are handled so amazingly. They're probably my favorite moments in the manga. It's so damn good. It just is. Like, every single character in this manga has something to strive for. They're all well-rounded. They're all well-written. They're all extremely realistic. They act like real people. And it's so good. And the team of, like, the Tigers is fleshed out to its, like, best capacity. Like, I don't even know what to say on how good this is. And I am so happy. I just got news of this. Takahino Inoue, well, not just, it was like 2 weeks ago. He just put out a new chapter. So he's still interested in making this manga. Like, he still wants to make it. And that relieves me, gives me so much joy that he still has more for this series and that it's not over yet. Because if this ending is good, if this manga ending is good, this might become my favorite manga of all time. I'm not joking. Like, not one bit. No hyperbole here, but no hyperbole here, boys. Like, it might just become my favorite manga of all time. And let's get into a manga that also might reach my favorite manga of all time. Let's get into... Oh, I'm backwards. Okay. Probably going to be my actual favorite manga of all time, just from this volume. If this continues to get better, and I mean a lot better, it probably will become my favorite manga of all time, beating out Haikyuu. And you know how much I love that manga. I made an entire video on every single match, and I talked about every single match like it was the best fucking thing in the world. It kind of is. And that manga is The Boxer. Specifically Volume 5, my favorite volume right now. It's between Volume 5 and probably Volume 1 or Volume 3. Like, those are my... Volume 2 was okay. I mean, Volume 2 was amazing. Like, so good. But compared to everything else, it's not as good. Talked about the guy who, like became a villain because that's the only way he could get high in the boxing world. It's an amazing story. It's so good, so beautiful. Doesn't reach the same levels as the other two characters we just got into, but it's so good. What else? Oh, Volume 4 is also amazing. I just don't think NJ is as compelling of a character, like protagonist, as Yu, which is crazy because Yu is literally just a brick wall of a character. Like, he does not do anything as a character, like progressing the plot forward speaking. But it's like he's good because he does that. Okay, let me get into this. Why this volume is so good. One, I should mention this, huge boxing watcher fan, huge boxing fan. I box. Like, I'm like such a big fan of boxing in general. And this manga talks about it in such a prestigious way and respectful way, but also in a very damaging way. And it's like the perfect depiction of it and how boxing can be an outsource for people to get rid of anger, but also an outsource for people to release trauma and an outsource for people to become better, but also an outsource for people to become worse human beings and for people to, be more rude and more brass. And I don't know how to explain it. This manga does it so much better than me. Its ideas of talent is something I've never, ever heard before. Like, never. Like, how people will start off getting super, 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 super good and then eventually reach a line where they're not improving at all. That's such an interesting concept that I've never thought about, and it's shown so perfectly. One of the moments that got me, there are so many moments in this volume that made me cry. Just in this volume. Not the rest of the series. Oh no, there's plenty of those. But just in this volume. There's a scene in the manga where his dad says, the guy on the cover's dad, this guy, his dad says something. He goes, Yuto, what do you think makes someone strong? Being good at fighting? Well, yes, in one way, of course. But most of those sort are actually cowards. They lack the courage to treat others with warmth, leaving them quaking in their boots, barely able to protect themselves. They shout, I'm dangerous and important, please don't attack me. A really strong person is someone who doesn't fear fear. Someone who can instill courage and hope in others. Someone who has the courage to treat others with boundless warmth. That is what it really means to be strong. Be strong, Yuto. As we're treated with this panel of his father lying on the floor. That's not what got me. What got me was this. This part right here. Is when Yuto's boxing trainer goes, Yuto, do you want to keep boxing? And then he goes, yeah, of course. He goes, but even if you train harder than everyone else, you still just keep losing. And he goes, and this is the scene that got me. I hope I don't cry on camera because I just might, but it's so good. He goes, I don't care about losing. I want to be strong like my dad. And God, that's so... What I got from that scene was that he took his dad's advice, basically. He took that idea of, yes, maybe you won't be able to beat up the person you're fighting, you won't be the strongest in the world, but you can give people boundless warmth, and you can make other people believe in themselves, and you can save other people, and you can become a better person. You make other people become better people, and you can make people live longer because of your strength. And that's what true strength is. And that's what he wants. And that's what he boxes for. Like, that is so good. And this panel had me crazy, bro. Look, it literally flips him. But another scene that got me, it's not like a talking scene, it's more of a visual scene. I mean, this scene also had me fucked up. Kind of how, like, Yuto's strength is giving this guy right here boundless warmth from the sun. Like, I love that. And how he's talking about how everyone's the same and everyone, you know, lives on this earth and being introspective. Where is it? There's a scene, like a group of panels. Here it is. Where he's just training as much as he can. And he's running across showing, like, the levels of training of him going through it, but also, like, him running. Have I mentioned, by the way, this moved up to my second favorite manga / manhwa of all time. This beat One Piece. That's how crazy this is. One Piece got moved to third. And then The Horizon got moved... Your Lie in April got moved to fourth. And The Horizon got moved to fifth. Like, that's fucking insane. Like, that's crazy to me. How this manhwa was able to get there. I think my favorite manga my top 10 has basically been solidified. It's, like, my list. There's no manhwa that's gonna shuffle out of there, probably. There might. Maybe I'll read something that's even more amazing. Maybe, like, Monster will be good. The Berserk will probably be, like, up there. It'll probably get, like, in my top 10 when I read Berserk, because I will. Vagabond will probably get there when I get later in the series. Maybe Kaiji, maybe Tokyo Ghoul. Those have been amazing series that I've been reading. Maybe even Vinland Saga. I'm not enjoying Vinland Saga right now as much as I would love to. But, you know, you never know. Bleach and Naruto are definitely close, too. And Red Soul Society of Bleach. Absolutely loved it. One of my favorite arcs of all time. Naruto, like, you know, I already said my piece about Naruto. It might get up there as well. Just looking around my room. Full Metal Alchemist might do it too. I'm on volume 10 or volume 11 right now. It's never in stock. Chainsaw Man might get up there. I'm looking around. Like, I don't see a lot of manga that could get in my top 10. Maybe Zom 100. Maybe Zom 100 can do it, man. Like, I have faith in Zom 100, you know? So yeah, that is the manga review. This is a very different volume than what it usually is, but I still loved it. Crazy how I'm actually rooting for our technical villain more than our technical hero. I didn't even talk about the main character of the entire thing. I talked about the side character of, like, the guy he's gonna face, who's definitely gonna get beat up and fucked up. God, that's gonna suck so much. When he eventually loses, I'm going to cry. I'm gonna die inside. That's going to suck. Alright, this has been 40 minutes of me just yapping the entire... But what other video isn't? Alright, I'm sorry. Anyone who stayed past here, thank you so much. Okay, goodbye.